All year, I've been looking forward to the upcoming Cartoon Network series Elliott From Earth, and I've been hopeful it'll be the show that gets Cartoon Network out of the creative slump it's been with its newer series. We finally have our first look at the show through a brand new trailer. Has the wait been worth it? We first got word of Elliott From Earth in the summer of 2018. It hails out of Cartoon Network Studios Europe, the outfit responsible for CN hit and scheduling favorite The Amazing World of Gumball. It also hails from the majority of the team that made that show, including Elliott's creator, former Gumball writer Guillaume Cassuto. The show's initial premise was pitched as a sci-fi sitcom following a human boy who ends up living in space with aliens from across the universe. We've now gotten more specifics on the concept. The story involves both the title boy and his mom, who are suddenly transported somewhere in the expanse of space, and now must live with the aforementioned bunch of extraterrestrials while they try to figure out how they ended up here. In the meantime, Elliott makes new friends, including with the lone other being from Earth, a dinosaur named Mo. From the premise, this show has potential for intrigue, but there's still a lot of weight riding on the show's characters to flesh things out, which is not something that I currently trust Cartoon Network to execute well. CN's 2020 entries I've seen so far, Thundercats Roar and Tick and Seek, my thoughts on the Funkies are on the way soon, have woefully awful character setups to the point that I can't even use the word development to describe them. I want to believe Elliott can do better, especially given it's technically not coming from the same place as either of those two shows, but understandably I don't currently have much reason for confidence. The show will be launching on Cartoon Network feeds worldwide, starting with the UK and Africa later this year. We don't currently have any word as to how far back in the line the US is in that pipeline. Sadly, we won't be seeing much of it in any case, as it was only picked up for 20 11-minute episodes, or 10 half hours, half of even the most conservative full-season runs in North America. In advance of the show's launch, we've finally gotten a trailer for it, though it doesn't say much, as it's only promo length. Let's check it out regardless, and see if it tells us anything about what we are about to get. We don't get to see too much of the details or any real story elements as a narrator guides us through the explanation, but from watching this trailer, my vague hopes for the show feel fairly justified, though the ambiguity leaves Cartoon Network plenty of room to botch the execution if they wanted to. Given we don't really see much in terms of the execution, the only other thing really showcased in this promo is the art style, and I really feel like they've screwed with this art style. And not in a good way like with Infinity Train where the changes made it look more polished and palatable, but in a bad way where I feel like the show has lost at least some of its uniqueness in terms of its artistic and visual identity. The one promotional image we got of the show back in 2018 when it was picked up made this cartoon appear influenced by modern cartoon design trends, yes, but they were just played around with enough to make the show look unique. The characters themselves had a bit more of a clear vision, the background had a distinctive level of texture, and the shot was composed in such a way that both were shown off well. The actual art style we're getting, based off this trailer promo, looks like the show just went to looking modern and European just for the sake of looking modern and European, with no real creative vision or visual distinction beyond that. The character designs look stripped straight from the counterfeit cat / Naya's late / boy girl dog ... aesthetic playbook, with a focus on very round, geometric designs with somewhat thick outlines. Though if I'm going to single this out on those grounds, I'll also have to complain about Jalam's Coach Me If You Can, which I'm also interested in seeing and that arguably hews even more to that aesthetic trend. But my problem here is not with the similarities to other shows necessarily. Clearly I am fine with 4 shows using that sort of art style, so what's a 5th? My problem is with the fact that the new look feels like a downgrade from the earlier concept art in terms of originality and expressiveness. Why couldn't we just get the first designs? Why did CN Studios Europe feel such a need to copy from their brethren across the English Channel? I know things might get changed because they're easier to animate or whatever, but any changes presented in the old style feel like hair splitting, at least from this outside viewpoint. Cartoon Network has already tried and failed to ape European sensibilities in Apple and Onion, but I didn't know they would mount a second attempt, and seemingly make their intentions so blatant. But then again, this is Cartoon Network in 2020. They're pretty much racing themselves to the bottom on basically every front at this point. I guess artistic originality is about to be another. There seems to be no discernible reason to hurt themselves like this, but if they want to be overtly self-destructive, I'm in no position to stop them. It's hard to argue stylistic similarities to Gumball, their previous work, but if you really wanted to try, there are some prototypical elements you could pick out. The eyeballs on Gumball and Elliott, for instance, though again, by that point you're stretching really hard to look for those things. I will give this show points, however, and plenty of them, for their use of shading and their environment design. That is where this show really seems to excel, and some of the scenes in here look downright cinematic. Perhaps it's not the sheer tour de force that Glitch Text was, but you could make the case for second place, at least among big 3 procs that actually have to care about a hard, reasonable budget. This sort of complexity and flair tends to be absent, largely, from procs with a linear destination, so I appreciate all the more here. I want to believe in Elliott From Earth, and I want it to be an international success. And I will believe in it until such a point where it gives me reason not to, but I can't help but feel that I can see the acts of sabotage from here. From the art style change to the short episode order, I'm not really confident in Cartoon Network's ability to construct and execute this promising premise in a satisfying way. From this current vantage point, it seems a little long to be a coherent miniseries with one overarching story, but too short to adequately invest in world building, which it will already need to do to at least some degree. In spite of my qualms and uncertainty, I actually feel better about Elliott From Earth than I have felt about a Cartoon Network show in a long while. The fact that this is the case is telling of other things, but that's besides the point. Ultimately, we didn't really get to see too much in this trailer, but what we know now looks promising if it's executed in the right hands. I didn't watch Gumball, so I don't know how this team is, but my faith in current Europe is counterbalanced by my lack of faith in current Cartoon Network. I'm not gung-ho all aboard excited, but I'm hopeful. For now, this looks like one of those shows where we'll have to wait and see to figure out exactly what the deal is. I've talked plenty here about the challenges Cartoon Network is facing right now as they seemingly race to the bottom, and you can find out more of the details in this video up here or down in the description. Make sure you subscribe for more explorations from the world of television every single week. I'm Benzie Johnson Jr., I'm enthusiastic about television, and I'll see you next time.